good evening and welcome to November 3rd, 13th, 2025 meeting of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Board of Trustees. Please remember to stay muted unless speaking and state your name clearly for the record if you do. We'll start off tonight with a roll call of the trustees. Trustee Agadello here. Trustee Brooks.
Here.
Trustee Hampton Dance. Trustee Kafour. Trustee McAvoy. You're muted, but I see the lip moving. Trustee Pincombe.
I'm here.
Trustee Valdez.
Here.
And with that, we'll move to our first item here, approval of the minutes from the August 20th, September 30th, and October 22nd, 2025 meetings. The first item of business is approval of these meeting minutes from the 20th, September 30th, and October 22nd, 2025 meetings. Are there any corrections or amendments to the minutes as they've been shared to you all? If there are none, may I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
I motion to approve the minutes as presented.
And do I have a second?
Second.
And with that, I'll do another roll call. Trustee Agadello, yes. Trustee Brooks.
Yes.
Trustee Hampton Dance. Trustee Kafour. Trustee McAvoy.
Yes.
Loud and clear that time. Trustee Pincombe.
Yes.
Trustee Valdez.
Yes.
And with that, we'll approve those meeting minutes. Our second item here is a request for the Affordable Housing Trust Fund contract amendment to the Colony Retirement Homes Inc. Colony on Grove Phase 1 extension of time. And with that, the chair recognizes Ms. Casby.
Thank you. So this request is for, it'll be a 3-month extension of time for the Colony on Grove Phase 1, or otherwise known as Apple, so that they can finalize financing and move toward construction. So by way of background, this project, as well as the next 2 projects on the agenda, received American Rescue Plan Act funding that had to be fully obligated by the end of 2025. Because these projects, including this one, had not yet reached a financial closing last year, the city executed conditional grant agreements, and those are set to expire at the end of this December. So some additional background on ARPA, American Rescue Plan Act funding. We have until the end of 2026 to spend those down. Unfortunately, there's progress on all 3 projects that I'll touch on. So for Colony on Grove Phase 1, the trust fund committed $2,275,000 in ARPA. And the board also recently approved an additional $200,000 of CPA funding for the second phase, otherwise known as Beach. So the state, the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities, has since authorized the developer, Colony Retirement Homes, to combine Apple and Beach into a single financial closing, and that's currently on track for this spring. So the requested extension is needed to allow the ARPA funded portion of the project to remain active while, excuse me, my contacts are dry, while the combined closing moves forward. So given the progress on the project's other funding sources and its overall readiness, they have already been undertaking a lot of, I think most, if not all, of the tenants for Phase 1 have been relocated. The staff recommends approval of a 3-month extension with all other terms and conditions of the existing trust fund contract remaining in effect. So I'll turn it back over to the chair.
One quick question there. Are they looking for a 3 or for a 6-month extension?
So they will likely need another extension, much smaller, shorter one. But I am giving 3 months just in case that something catastrophic happens. It's very unlikely, very, very unlikely. So we would have time to reallocate that funding to another project if need be. So it could, the board could discuss the amount of time, but I am recommending 3 months, again, just as like a safety mechanism.
Understood. And are there any questions or comments from anyone on the board? So hearing none, is there a motion to approve the requested contract amendment to the Grove Phase 1 agreement by 3 months?
I motion to approve the extension.
And do we have a second?
Second.
I'll second.
All right, and on that, we'll take a roll call. Trustee Agudelo, yes. Trustee Brooks,
Yes.
Trustee Hampton Dance, Trustee Kafour, Trustee McAvoy,
Yes.
Trustee Pincombe,
Yes.
Trustee Valdez.
Yes.
And with that, we will approve the amendment to extend by 3 months. Our next item here on our minutes is a request for the Affordable Housing Trust Fund contract amendment to the Worcester LaGrange LLC, LaGrange Lofts extension of time. The chair once again recognizes Ms. Casby.
Thank you. So again, another request for a short extension. This one, 2 months to accommodate an updated closing timeline for the LaGrange Lofts project. So this project remains active and is targeting a financial closing in mid-December. So again, this extension is more of a safety measure in case there are any delays in that closing. And, it may go past December 31st. These closings are complicated and there's a lot of funding sources involved. But weekly closing calls have commenced and I participate in those. So I'm very much in the loop and I can alert the board to any potential changes in the timeline. And I do also want to note for the board for this project, for any project really, if you would like to hear from the developer themselves, I can always invite them to a future meeting, but these are more administrative requests. So that's why I'm presenting them to you tonight. And back to you, Chair.
Thank you for that. And do we have any questions for anyone on the board on that item? Any comment? So hearing none, is there a motion to approve the contract amendment extending the LaGrange Lofts Affordable Housing Trust Fund agreement by 2 months?
I will motion to approve the requested extension.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second.
And on that, we'll take a roll call. Trustee Agudelo, yes. Trustee Brooks,
Yes.
Trustee Hampton Dance, Trustee Kafour, Trustee McAvoy,
Yes.
Trustee Pincombe,
Yes.
Trustee Valdez.
Yes.
And with that, the extension is granted. Moving forward to our next item, a request for the Affordable Housing Trust Fund contract amendment to the Lakeside Developer LLC, Lakeside Phase 2 extension of time. And with that, the chair recognizes Ms. Casby.
So similar to the LaGrange project, this is a request for an extension for 2 months. This is the homeownership portion of the Lakeside redevelopment project. Again, this project remains active and it continues to make steady progress toward its anticipated financial closing also in December of this year. So weekly closing calls with the development team and funding partners have also begun, and I'm closely involved in those discussions. So again, I will keep the board informed of any changes that could affect the project timeline. So given the project's continued forward movement and the coordination underway with its other funding sources, as staff, we recommend approval of the requested extension with all existing terms and conditions of the existing contract remaining unchanged.
Thank you for that. And to the board, are there any questions there? With Lakeside, I think one quick question, had they decided if they were going to have a management company for the home ownership units, or was that something they were going to self-manage? I don't know if we got that answer a couple months back.
So I can, they will be condos, so I can share updated information about that at the next meeting.
Yeah, it doesn't
That's
materially
helpful.
affect us, but it was something on my mind just from that project that escapes me right now. Any other questions here?
Yes, through the chair. Remind me, and it's in the notes, I'm sure, but how many units are there again for the
So
association?
that is a 10-unit project.
Yeah, just through the chair. I'm dealing with a lot of condos, of course. They may choose to be self-managed, and I don't have a super concern of that. I think if you go with a professional management company outside, it will increase the condo fees. And with these being deed restricted affordable housing units, that may present, a cost barrier for those companies. So just something to know.
Yeah, so through the chair, the closing calls just started, and any condo documents will be reviewed in those weekly calls. So once I have a better sense of what they're doing, I will definitely share that with the board.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comment, question there? So hearing none, is there a motion to approve the extension for the Lakeside Phase 2 project by 3 months?
I motion to approve the Lakeside project extension by 3 months.
And do I have a second?
Second.
So on that, we'll do a roll call. Trustee Agudelo, yes. Trustee Brooks,
Yes.
Trustee Hampton Dance, Trustee Kafour, Trustee McAvoy,
Yes.
Trustee Pincombe,
Yes.
Trustee Valdez,
Yes.
so with that, the extension is granted. So moving forward to our next item, an update and discussion on the fall 2025 Tier 2 applications. And with that, the chair recognizes Ms. Gadby.
Thank you. So as I mentioned at the last meeting, the trust received 4 Tier 2 applications. Presentations have not been held, obviously, and they have not been scheduled. So, staff completed an initial eligibility review, and it does appear that 2 of the 4 are eligible, and those requests total just under $2 million. But no further action has been taken, pending board direction. And this is in part because we allocated all of the funding that we had for this round to the Tier 1 projects. So tonight's discussion is really intended to provide the board with an opportunity to weigh in on how to proceed with the applications submitted. So I really see 2 options, and this is based off of what was included in the strategic plan. So we could, 1, hold the Tier 2 applications and re-engage with the eligible applicants during the next round of funding when additional resources are available, which we'll talk about this in another agenda item, but it looks like sometime in the spring, late spring, we should be able to issue the next RFP. So that's the first option, hold the applications until we have more funding. And then the second option is to move forward now by reviewing the eligible applications at the December meeting and potentially invite applicants to present at a subsequent meeting, perhaps January. So staff, I will move forward based on the board's preference. And I think the board would like to have a discussion through the chair.
Yeah, so we can open up the item for discussion. From my point of view, I think holding off may be the better alternative. I'd hate to have folks jump through, hoops or seeming hoops with, no money to allocate and no promise of future, sums. I mean, of course, we'll apply through CPA and we'll try and get more funds, but it's to be determined how much we'd have to allocate. So the benefit, if I were to play devil's advocate there, is we could go to the CPA with, semblances of projects that have been presented to the board and may strengthen the case to request more funds. But those are, a couple of quick observations I've got there, but curious what all you guys' point of view is.
Through the chair, I can see both sides, right? Last time that Ms. Cosme went in front of the CPA for funds, they did not give you exactly what you requested. If I remember correctly, they gave you less. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Although that being said, you already know how much these applicants are applying for or requesting. So I don't know. I can go either way on it. I do see the benefit of waiting. I guess I'd ask you, Jeanette, what do you think would present a stronger case for a receiving of the funding that's needed? Do you think it matters?
I think the fact that the applications were submitted and the initial eligibility screening would provide sufficient, would demonstrate the need and demand for funding. That said, the board review and desire to fund the projects could add, but I will add the timeline for the CPA funding. So on December 3rd, we need to submit the pre-application to the CPC, the Community Preservation Committee. And that's really just to determine eligibility, which it is. And then we'll be invited to submit a full application. And my understanding is that will be due in February. So it's really up to the board. I mean, it could go either way. It might strengthen it, but it might not have an impact. Hard to say.
So through the chair, if I understand correctly, this won't be presented to them until February anyways, and we'll already have received the presentations if we do those in January anyways. Then I see no need to make these people jump through hoops right away. I say, wait till January. You're going to be submitting the initial application anyways.
So I don't know if we need a vote. This is more just like direction on how to proceed. And so I turn it back to you, Chair.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad to have a vote. I want to make sure that everyone gets heard here. I'm not sure if Jim or Francisco, you guys have any thoughts here. I think the biggest thing that pushes me towards holding off is given the time we go to we wouldn't be hearing the presentation to January. We wouldn't know about money till February. So many things can go in flux in a project in that timeline, especially people don't know what's even available in terms of like a pool of potential funds. I wouldn't want to throw off local developers, especially emerging developers, off with false promise or false idea what's possible. But that's I guess just reiterating kind of the prior point. But I don't want to hear myself talk all night. I'm curious what you guys think.
Yes, through the chair. Yeah, I would tend to agree with holding off on inviting them in until we have a better idea of kind of what award we would be looking at after that presentation in February to the CPC committee. I mean, these projects, the reason they weren't in tier 1 is they were not shovel ready within 6 months. So holding them off a few months, I don't think will be detrimental. Just based on their timelines they presented earlier. So that's my thoughts, to hold off till we have a better sense of the amount of funding.
I think it's a good caveat that you're adding there. So appreciate you sharing that.
Through the chair, I agree with Jim and with Jason. Well, with everybody. I think that I don't see I guess there's more benefit on holding off than the other way, the other option. So if we're gonna vote, I definitely go in that direction, holding off until we know.
Ms. McAvoy, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I would defer to other folks if it like I would support the consensus, though. I think that makes the most sense.
So I think what we can do is, maybe we elect to wait post CPA funds. That timeline, of course, somewhat dependent on other boards, but maybe we motion here to push review of tier 2 applications until funding is granted from the CPC, from the CPA. So on that, do I have a motion for this?
Sorry, yes, I motion.
And a second.
Second.
So on that, trustee Aguilar, yes. Trustee Brooks,
Yes.
trustee Hampton Dance, trustee Kafour, trustee McAvoy,
Yes.
trustee Pincombe,
Yes.
trustee Valdez.
Yes.
So with that, we will vote to defer the review for the tier 2 applicants until post CPA funding is granted, whatever that may be, post February. So moving forward here on our agenda, the next item that we have here is a discussion for the fall 2025 Community Preservation Program funding round pre-application. And with that, the chair recognizes Ms. Casby.
Thank you again. I hope you're not sick of hearing from me. So as I mentioned, the Community Preservation Committee has opened its FY26 funding round with pre-applications due on December 3rd. So I recommend that the trust submits a pre-application requesting $2 million on behalf of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. My understanding is there is up to $6 million available. So I leave that to the board to discuss and let me know what you would like to do.
Only question I've got here is the $2 million figure. Is that, I'm curious how we inform that, how we decide that be a good figure to go for.
So from my perspective, and if anybody else wants to speak up, so our tier 2 applications that are eligible are 1.95 million in total. So I think that's justification. I do anticipate that there will be a lot of competition for this funding as well, just like the first funding round. So 2 million just kind of feels like a good number to request, but
Certainly.
Through the
And
chair. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, please.
Through the chair, what happens if we asked for more? Is it too late to receive other applications? Is it something like, my mindset is, hey, last time you asked for X and they gave you Y. Is it harmful to ask for more and have that additional funding if they give it to us?
Yep, through the chair. So in the case we say you applied for $2.3 million, with the tier 2 applications at just under $2 million, you'd have to issue another RFP for that additional funding amount.
Okay, and through the chair, again, we received 4 applications. 2 so far are, preliminary qualified, and other people had the opportunity to apply and they did not. Is that my understanding? You open up the
For
RFP
tier
and
2?
open it. Yeah, so we open up the RFP.
Yes, so there was a deadline for those applications as well, for tier 2, and 4 total were received, 2 were potentially eligible.
Okay, thank you. I guess my thought is, yeah, I asked for the 2 million, but I'll wait for that motion.
Sure. One other question, maybe before motion, is there anything that we can do to support or strengthen the pre-application letters of support, or anything that would be valuable from the board members?
so through the chair, the pre-application is a very simple form, and I don't recall being able to include any attachments. However, the full application, there may be an opportunity, and I think letters of support never hurt. And when the public hearing is, or the meeting is held, where applicants will present to the CPC, that's another opportunity for board members and others to show support.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, whenever we have that date, definitely please let us know. I'll plan on attending. So if we don't have any other comments, questions here, is there a motion to authorize staff to submit a Community Preservation Act pre-application requesting $2 million on behalf of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund?
I motion to authorize staff to submit the application, the pre-application.
And do we have a second?
I'll second.
So on that item, Trustee Agudelo, yes. Trustee Brooks,
Yes.
Trustee Hampton Dance, Trustee Kafour, Trustee McAvoy,
Yes.
Trustee Pincombe,
Yes.
Trustee Valdez, Trustee
You're muted.
Valdez,
You're muted.
Yes, I thought I was unmuted and I muted.
So with that, the authorization is granted. So moving forward to our next item, a discussion on the establishment of a vice chair position. So with that, the chair recognizes Ms. Casmy.
All right. So through the chair, as the trust continues to mature as a governing body, staff recommends considering the creation of a vice chair position to really support meeting facilitation and help provide continuity when the chair is unavailable. And I do want to recognize your service for a few years now, Victor. So it's much appreciated, and we want to provide support and continuity for that. So this item is really for discussion tonight. If there is a general consensus, a motion to establish the trust fund vice chair can be drafted for consideration at the December meeting. So with that, I'll turn it back to you, Chair.
Yeah, so we can open up the item for discussion. I think it could certainly be a good fail safe. I know that we've had issues sometimes with quorum or attendance. I think that in terms of, an opportunity to get more involved with the board or have different responsibilities, I think it'd be great for someone else on the board to participate. But curious what all you guys think.
I'm through the chair. I think it's a good idea. Victor, you've done this for a few years now, and you have a newborn and another child. And sometimes maybe you just can't make it, but if we can still have a quorum and a vice chair can chair the meeting, that would be a good thing for you. And
I've
for
perfect
the board.
so far, but yeah, it would be a good fail safe.
You never know. You get a sick child or anything like that, that happens.
Certainly. Anyone against the vice chair?
Yeah, through the chair, I would tend to agree. Having a vice chair would be a good strategic move to make sure that we have someone to lead the meetings as well as, have quorum.
I agree as well, and I wish I could throw my hat in the ring, but just dealing with a lot and was given some unfortunate news from my family in Orlando, and sorry to break it like this. I think I might not be able to continue on the board, but that's for another day. I just wanted to bring that up. I'll send an email after.
Well, we're sorry to hear that you have some difficulty there, and appreciate all the service so far. And we'll try and end on a high note for you today. So moving with this item, so do I have a motion to create a vice chair position and amend the bylaws or the amendment for the created the Affordable Housing Trust Fund?
So if I may interrupt, I'm sorry. Jim, do you want? Oh, I was just
No,
going to say.
I was probably going to say the same thing you were
Okay.
going to. That I don't think there would potentially be a motion tonight, but we could draft language for the next meeting to make that motion. Is that
Yes.
what you're going to say, Jim?
Exactly.
So we'll
Just move
amend
the chair
the
really.
motion. The motion is to create an amendment of establishing a vice chair position for the Affordable Housing Trust Fund that can be considered at the December meeting.
Through the chair really quick, before we motion, do we have to check and make sure the bylaws allow this?
So through the chair, the ordinance is silent to it. It just specifies that the city manager appoints the chair. So I have been conferring with other folks in the city, including the law department, to determine what exactly is needed to make it happen. So that's why I wanted to just bring up the idea tonight, and then at the December meeting, we can have a more detailed motion and whatever is needed to establish the position.
Thank you. So just to clarify, are we asking for a motion now, or my understanding is now we're just going to push this to the next meeting, correct?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Even simpler. So moving forward to our next item, a financial status update. And with that, the chair recognizes Ms. Casby.
Okay, so I'll keep this short and sweet. So I provided the financial summary via email, just some highlights from that. So as of October 31st of this year, the total sources that have come into the trust stand at about $20 million. So that includes about $17 million in ARPA funding, a little under $2 million in ARPA interest earnings, the $1.25 million in Community Preservation Act funding, which, quick note on that, the statute that enables the CPA funding and the CPC requires that we have a grant agreement internally, between the CPC and the trust fund. That is still in process, but I, am still reflecting that in the financial summary. And then you'll also see that there's just under $67,000 in donations. So that includes, there was a $100 donation a while ago, and then 2 of the 3 donation installments from the Arbella at Bramble Hill developer have come through. So that's, there will be another $33,000 from that developer, but as of right now, that's what we have received. And then to date, the trust has obligated or conditionally committed about $19.66 million across 21 projects. So that's ARPA and CPA funding. And then expenditures and requisitions currently in process total about $7.1 million as of November 12th, 2025. And I think this reflects strong progress toward closing out ARPA funded awards. And I anticipate that we'll see significant draws over the next few months as projects near completion, and projects like Lakeside Phase 1, which very recently closed last week, as those projects submit requisitions.
Thank you. And are there any questions on the financial? So hearing none, we'll move forward to our next item, updates and announcements. And again, the chair recognizes Ms. Casby.
All right, so I just have a few updates for the board this evening. First, I know that, we're entering the busy holiday season, so I wanted to give ample notice to ensure we have a quorum for our upcoming meeting dates. We're going back to our Wednesday evening meeting schedule. So right now I have December 10th, 2025, January 14th, 2026, and February 11th, 2026. So please add these to your calendars, or, if there are any major issues, you can bring those up. I have a few more updates, but I don't know if we want to.
Just want to make sure I got those dates right. I got the December one. What was the January and the other one?
Yeah, so it's January 14th and February 11th. These upcoming dates are also they're relatively new agenda templates that the city is using for all boards and commissions, includes upcoming meeting dates. So you can always reference the most recent agenda to see those dates as well. Okay, so my next update, I do want to highlight that the city is hosting 2 upcoming recruitment events for boards and commissions. The first is next week, Wednesday, November 19th from 6 to 8 p.m. And then there is one also on Saturday, December 6th at 10 a.m. Both of these events are being held at the Worcester Senior Center. That's located at 128 Providence Street. So I'll be there tabling to recruit future trustees. And these events are part of an ongoing effort to diversify representation across city boards and expand community awareness of opportunities to participate. So you are welcome to attend or share these opportunities with networks who may be interested in serving on the trust fund or other boards and commissions that the city has. And once I haven't received a flyer for the events themselves, but I will share that with the board when I do have something tangible to share. And then lastly, I wanted to just highlight the Leadership Academy that I had shared. So the Massachusetts Housing Leadership Academy is being hosted by the Citizens Housing and Planning Association, also known as CHAPA. So this is a free 6-month fellowship designed for board members like you. So this could be a great program for anyone that's able to participate and learn through that program. Applications are being accepted now, and the program will run from January through June and take up approximately 25 hours of your time over those 6 months. So I do want to make a plug for that again. I shared it via email, but let me know if you'd like me to resend the link and I can do so. Those are my updates.
Thank you. So with that, we'll move forward to our next item, potential future agenda items. Right now, we've got the consideration of a vice chair, fundraising committee. Are there any other agenda items that would like to look forward to a future meeting to add to the agenda?
So I have a couple, if I may suggest. So I do want to provide a deeper dive into current trust fund funded projects, so more detailed project update at a future meeting. But also, as the strategic plan notes, the board can also consider an annual report that includes a summary of accomplishments and funding allocations, updates on funded projects, measurable outcomes, community impact stories, financial statements, and other forward-looking priorities. This language is taken directly from the strategic plan. So if we do follow the timeline in that plan, this would be presented at the March 2026 meeting and finalized in April. And then I do just want to recognize, so the board had voted to establish a fundraising subcommittee to explore non-traditional revenue streams to supplement existing trust fund sources. Trustee Hampton Dance had brought this up at a recent meeting as well. So I just wanted to give the board an opportunity to initiate forming that subcommittee. Those are my suggestions.
Those sound good to me. Any thoughts from anyone else on the board?
Yes, through the chair. So regarding the subcommittee and starting that, what is the next step? Is this a motion you're looking for? Or I feel like if people want to be on the subcommittee, they should also probably be part of the meeting where we discuss it in further detail.
So through the chair, it has been established via board vote already. So it's really up to trustees to, come up with a plan to, who will be on it. And, if there is, if you have quorum that are participating on the subcommittee, then I'll work with you to schedule a public meeting for that subcommittee. We'll have to post it and have to follow the open meeting law. for that subcommittee. Again, if there's a quorum. So really, I'm here to support the board in any efforts with that subcommittee.
Yeah, I think that was one of the things that I'd thrown out in a prior meeting. I've, been a little bit occupied outside of board duty, so I haven't followed up with it as closely, but I do think it would be something great to get started, be it when I'm in a better place or if someone else is interested in taking some initiative with it and getting it started. But I do think it could be a great alternative source to drive funds into the board and try and create relationships and community within, folks that are trying to look for housing, create housing. There's a lot of opportunities, a lot of ways we can go with it.
Through the chair, I would suggest maybe we can have it as a December item. We're going to be talking about a vice chair, and maybe this can kind of fit in, with that kind of board composition discussion.
Through the chair, I agree with that. I'd like to learn more. I guess I need to understand more what that subcommittee, how we get started, so forth, before I raise my hand for it.
Are there any other future agenda items folks would like to get added? Right now, it looks like we've got an item for December or a couple items for December with the vice chair of the fundraising committee, but anything else? So if we have nothing else, before we close out, I definitely want to thank our member, Mr. Valdez, for the service and the duty that he's provided to the city. And thank you for your time. And it's something that's been very, very helpful. And we hope we're able to cross paths with you again in the future. With nothing else, I'll say that this will conclude tonight's agenda. Do we have a motion to adjourn the November 13th, 2025 meeting with the Affordable Housing Trust Fund?
I will motion to adjourn.
So do I have a second on that motion?
I'll second.
And with that, Trustee Agadello, yes. Trustee Brooks,
Yes.
Trustee Hampton Dance, Trustee Kafour, Trustee McAvoy,
Yes.
Trustee Pincombe,
Yes.
Trustee Valdez.
Yes.
And with that, we'll adjourn tonight's meeting. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
And Victor, this is Observer Jim. I just want to give a shout out to you and the team for an outstanding meeting. Exceptional job by Jeanette in terms of clerking this meeting. So I hope to attend future meetings, just trying to wrap my arms around the housing situation in Worcester. And this was very informative. Thanks again.
Thank you very much for joining us, Jim, and hope to see you on a future meeting.
Okay, see you all. Bye now.
Have a good night.